Welcome back. So last Sunday I learned about the Black August. I didn't know about it before. The preacher said it in his sermon, and I realized maybe I had been doing Black August without knowing it. So instead of reinventing the wheel and writing my own thing, I decided to go to Solitary Watch where they already have something written, and I'd be reading an article written by a person who is incarcerated. So I wanted the voice of someone suffering that kind of pain to speak out more than mine. So the article is Voices from Solitary, the Legacy of Black August at San Quentin Prison. And it was written last year, August 30th, 2024. And this is the intro. The following piece, co-published with Davis Vanguard, is written by incarcerated journalist Kevin D Sawyer. For 24 of his 28 years in prison, Sawyer has observed Black August, a month that commemorates the legacy of Black liberation fighters, political prisoners, and the revolutionary leaders. Black August originated in 1979 to pay homage to George Jackson, a young Black man who was sentenced to 1 year to life in prison in California in 1960 for allegedly stealing $70 from a gas station. While incarcerated, Jackson became a leader in the Black Panther Party and the author of the best-selling book Soledad Brotha. He served 10 years at San Quentin and then at Soledad Prison, including 7.5 in solitary confinement, a tactic used to try and quell the influence of Jackson and other movement leaders. In August of 1970, after being accused of killing a white prison guard, Jackson was transferred back to San Quentin, where he was killed in a prison uprising a year later. The legacy of Jackson's resistance lives on every year through the Black August tradition, which is to study, to fast, to train, to fight. Kevin B. Sawyer is a former associate editor. This is Kevin B. Sawyer, the incarcerated journalist, editor of the San Quentin News and member of the Society for Professional Journalism. He's a 2024 Stillwater Award recipient for Best News Story, a 2019 PEN America Honorable Mention for Nonfiction, and a 2016 recipient of the James Harrison Award for Exemplary Community Journalism. Prior to incarceration, Sawyer worked for 14 years in the telecommunication industry. He's a certified electrician and a trained audio engineer with a Bachelor of Arts degree in mass communication. Sawyer's work has been published in the San Francisco Chronicle, Oakland Post, UCLA Law Review Discourse, Columbia Journalism Review, Prison Journalism Project, Cal Matters, Bay City News, the news station, LT Collect, Filter Magazine, Harvard Journal of African American Policy, The Guardian, and many others. This is the beginning of the article. This month, I'm enduring my annual solo journey of self-sacrifice to not eat meat or drink coffee. Some days I fast while adhering to a strict regimen of exercise, political education, study of Black history, and the observation of spiritual unity. It is a renewal of my will to resist the indignity of incarceration and the overall prison industrial complex. These are some of the tenets of the month-long Black August that I've come to understand and embrace while inside the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. During my 28 years of imprisonment, I've faithfully undertaken the practice of paying homage to my ancestors. This year marks the 24th time I've practiced alone in this call to awareness, rebellion, and resistance to repression and the injustices inside the United States prison industrial complex. This year marks the 45th anniversary of Black August, created to honor Black prisoners cut down inside California and so many others beyond the gates and walls of prisons who would otherwise remain forgotten. There, George Jackson, who was assassinated by the prison guards at San Quentin. There was W.L. Nolan, Fred Billingsley, Katari Glauden, and the late Rochelle Magee. The latter was the only survivor of what has been termed the Courthouse Slave Rebellion in Marin County on August 7, 1970. 3 revolutionaries perished on that day. They are Jonathan Jackson, James McLean, and William Christmas. In recent years, Hugo Yogi Pinel was assassinated inside prison weeks after being released from solitary confinement as one of the longest held prisoners in California's security housing unit. The idea of Black August is an outgrowth of the Black people's need to acknowledge their own heroes for posterity, irrespective of the system's attempts to vilify and erase them from history. Quote, I met Marx, Lenin, Trotsky, Engels, and Mao when I entered prison, and they redeemed me. George Jackson wrote in his critically acclaimed books, Soledad Brother, The Prison Letters of George Jackson. Why is any of this important to me? It is because as a Black man born in 1963 and imprisoned for so long by the politics of the day, it is my firm belief that my ancestors and history admonish me to fulfill a duty that is greater than myself. If I forget them, I forget me. Today I stand on their shoulders in this very place where history was made, San Quentin State Prison, where I've been confined for the last 13 years. It is one of the state's 32 gulags where schemes are hatched to create false narratives, such as that of the San Quentin Six, David Johnson, Hugo, Pinel, Johnny Spain, Luis Talamantes, Willie Sundiate Tate, and Fleeta Drumgo. They were accused and charged with assault and murdered inside the Prison Adjustment Center, the whole stemming from the violent events on August 21, 1971, when George Jackson, 3 prison guards, and 2 white prisoners were murdered. For the first 8 years after my arrival, San Quentin attempted to connect me with the defunct Black guerrilla family prison gang simply because of the reading and writing I did in the past and continue to do in the present. Black August material and other revolutionary documents referencing George Jackson indicative of membership or association with the Black guerrilla family prison gang was placed on a receipt inside a box of what was left on my confiscated writings. In proximity of their vision of me, I resisted, muted my pain, and concealed my rage. The power structures underestimated me. I was supposed to be incapable of expression. When all grievances fell on deaf ears and no communication was possible, Sawyer v. McDonald of 2019 settled the matter. It seemed they were no longer interested in me anymore. Black liberation in August is a recurring theme that has manifested itself in myriads of revolutionary actions. In August, freedom fighter Harriet Tubman started her Underground Railroad. On August 21, 1791, enslaved Africans in Haiti rebelled and freed themselves from bondage. On August 21st, 1831, Nat Turner's slave rebellion started. Their sacrifice, their despair, their determination, and their blood has painted the month for all time. The imprisoned Mumia Abu Jamal stated, "So it is in August that we honor our fallen heroes and prepare ourselves emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually for the time when our predicament may worsen. We do not shrink. We do not allow our bodies to become immobile figures on a prison yard. We do not allow our mental interior to become an inexpressive feature corroded by the ravages of time in our existence. Instead, we succeed with an abiding conviction to communicate with each other, love each other, and pass the torch to the next generations. George Jackson did the same and left us with, quote, "Settle your quarrels, come together, understand the reality of our situation, understand that fascism is already here, that people are dying who could be saved, that generations more will live poor, butchered half lives if you fail to act. Do what must be done. Discover your humanity and your love of revolution. One day I will show up in history. There will be those who consult my writings, follow in my footsteps, and write stories about me and the movements of this epoch. Until we are free, this is Black August." Powerful, powerful, powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. So now this will become my tradition, this Black August thing, and I'm so glad to be introduced to it. I hope you are glad to be introduced to it, to this privilege, this calling to love and revolution, to the movement. Thanks so much for listening. Please feel free to tell me what you think.